First of all, did you have any issues with the weather?
Oh, yeah, we did. Oh, yeah, we did. We almost risked the entire show.
Jeez.
Yeah, we were in Canada, and the storm kind of went just sideways of us, but it meant to go back into America, we had to go right into it. Oof. And we obviously didn't want to do that and risk everyone's safety.
Of course.
And not maybe even making it to the show. So we had to make a really long detour. Yeah, I don't really know exactly the route we did, but it took forever. So we
as
drove
long as you are
night.
safe and
And we even made that gig as well.
Oh, it was before this one.
Yeah. It was yesterday. It was Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh my
So
goodness.
we drove from Toronto to Pittsburgh in one go.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
I was about to say, well, it's like Sweden, but that's a terrible joke to make, to be honest.
Yeah.
So the upcoming album will be the first through Napalm Records.
Mm-hmm.
However, Katatonia is not a new kid on the block, right? Has been around for
a few
decades.
years.
So still, does it feel any different releasing an album under a new label?
It's still very early. I mean, the new album hasn't come out yet. It's out in January.
Of course, but planning to release.
Yeah, of course. Everything feels good. So far, so good.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, and also we actually were lucky because with our side project, Bloodbath, we signed with Napalm just before.
Mm-hmm.
So we already started working with the people, with them. So it's the same people.
Okay.
So it's a good start.
So did the signing with Bloodbath influence Katatonia to go to Napalm too?
Smooth the way.
Yeah. It kind of did, actually. Yeah, it did.
So how long have you been working on the new album?
Well, Jonas actually, I mean, he wrote most of the album, and he started working on it during the lockdown of the pandemic, 2021, I think, working on it pretty much all that year.
Without the tours, working or being involved in the making of the new album, was it different for you guys at all? Did you sense any difference without tours making a new album?
We are mostly, have a kind of the same routine when we make albums. It's usually me or Jonas that comes up with stuff, individually from our home recording environment. And we send out demo tapes, like early versions to the other guys just to get the feedback going and stuff like that. And it's quite different from other bands that maybe go to the rehearsal place and jam and, build their songs there. We never did that because in the past we were just two people in the band. So we didn't even have a chance to do that. Right. We couldn't jam. And we just kept on going with that. And that's, as Jonas said, he likes that recipe. He thinks it's, if it ain't broken, during it, it's the fix. Yeah. So, it's just something that's been working out really well for us.
Yeah, sometimes my question when I ask bands about this and during the pandemic is, do you get any energy push when you are playing live and working on new music? Or you'd like to have those two things separated completely, isolated even?
Well, every album has a long tour cycle, so obviously you want to, you do think somewhere in the back of your mind about how the songs are going to translate later into a live environment. Uh-huh. And we do so more and more now, I think, because I would love to play all the songs live, but some of them might not fit that well. Some fit really well. And you need some variety and dynamics in an album as well. You cannot have 10 songs that are all the same rocker kind of songs,
Right.
Some songs need to go down and take a little bit of a breather. Mm-hmm. And then, go up again to keep the intensity going and everything like that. But I think both of those things, they influence each other. When you come off tour, you're hungry again to make new music and go back into the studio. And when you're done with an album, just like now, we just want to tour.
Right, right. You were involved in the production, right?
Yeah.
Who did the mixing and the mastering?
Jakob Hansen, a Danish guy. He's been around for a really long time. He was in a couple of bands in the late 80s and 90s, like thrash metal stuff. And he's become a well-known name. What's the biggest stuff he's done?
It's probably most known for stuff like Volbeat.
Yeah, that's really big. Yeah. He's done their albums and stuff like that.
And also, of course, Arch Enemy, bands like that.
So, do you really think, consider what bands a producer has worked with before saying, yeah, take our stuff and do your thing?
The label loves that, of course. They will always put that in brackets and say that, that.
Right.
But we go technically for what we like with him, what sound he's been able to produce with bands, because we have our vision, and we just want to integrate it somewhere with the technical skills that he has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. Because we've been working with a lot of people. We've been working with Jens Bogren of Fascination Street on a lot of albums, David Castillo, Stockholm guy as well, and now we just felt like it's time sometimes to move on now to get a fresh new sound picture going. So
What is the trick to stop working on the music and the lyrics, of course, and then say, okay, now it's time to start the production? How do you do that? And because I was thinking, well, you are producing your own music. Were there times you will say, maybe we can do this differently and go back? How do you not do that?
I have a very easy answer to that. It's called deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the label, right?
Again, it's all about the deadlines. Otherwise, we would keep going forever. But you got to keep the deadline. And then you say, like, now it's time. And we're just like, okay, what do we got? Let's go with this. But we leave so much stuff unfinished.
Okay.
And that might never see the light of day, or it might end up on the next album. You don't know.
So you are producing more stuff?
Yeah, a lot of
Okay.
stuff. We have folders with tons of unfinished ideas, like choruses or intro riffs and stuff like that. And sometimes you save them 10 years and they show up 10 years later or something like that. So,
Okay, I didn't know that.
yeah.
And you have this, there is a bonus track, I think in a Digibook edition, Absconder.
Yeah.
Jonas chooses the bizarre words.
The
most
trickiest
bizarre
titles.
words.
Yeah, I know. Even for us, we're like, how do you spell that? How do you pronounce that? Okay.
I'm from Greece. And
Yeah.
some of his words, no man, what is he trying to say? So, anyways, back to that song. Why was it labeled as a bonus?
First of all, the label, again, always demands bonus songs from us.
Okay.
And for us, it's really hard to just say, like, oh, that's a bonus song. It's like, we love that song as well.
Right.
Why does that song not go on the album? Who's to choose this, It's hard. And the label have their say, we have our opinion, the management have their opinion, and it's a compromise. After a while, you're just like, okay, maybe that song is just as good, but it didn't fit in the track list.
Okay.
That's a good reason why it's a bonus song.
Well, that song, I think it has more keyboards, a little bit higher, I guess. That's the only difference my unprofessional ears can...
Yeah, everyone has their opinion about it, but I remember clearly that we were like, we can't fit a good place in the track list for this song, so that's why it's ended up.
Maybe they picked the most difficult word to pronounce, I don't know.
Maybe they did.
Because I had questions about Jonas. Anyways, it's a bizarre thing. And I wonder, how do you choose the title of the album? Because this time around it's from author, right? It's a little like from author. But still, even so, how do you choose how the album will be titled? At what stage, maybe?
Well, it's mostly Jonas that comes up with all the titles. Of course, he bounces them with us, and he always has... there's always more meanings to it than one.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah. And there's several angles to this. First of all, you gotta like the title. You gotta like how it phonetically sounds, and also how it looks in writing. Mm-hmm. I even just immediately when it says a title, I even check the initials to see how that looks like. Yeah, because you wanna, you're gonna write that so many times anyway, so it has to fit. But no, Jonas is picky with that, and I never really said like, no, I always said like, oh wow, yeah, I love it. That's a good title, and I bring it with me and just feel it for a couple of days.
What about the cover artwork? Was it Scott Travis who did that, or someone else?
You mean Travis Smith?
Yeah.
Yes, Scott Travis is the drummer, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Judas Priest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it wasn't actually. A lot of people thought it was, but this was an Italian guy called Roberto Brodin, I think it's called.
Well, I sense the difference because the previous covers were almost like photographs, the source material.
Yeah.
But this time around, it was more like a graphic, digital.
Oh, it is entirely digital, and it was a new touch for us to do that. I mean, nothing bad about Travis Smith. We've been working with him since, I think, more than 20 years. But sometimes, again, you have to change stuff a little bit just to make it, fresh.
Right.
And this guy, we knew he wanted to work with us because he did a shirt in the past. And we were like, oh, he's got a unique, cool style. So we just went all in for him. I love how it turned out. It's great. Great, looks great.
There's a strange post-apocalyptic / sci-fi.
Very. Yeah.
Aside from playing drums. No.
He's a killer drummer.
So, after this tour, this tour will not cover the release of the album. It will be next year. So, do you know if there are any plans to revisit the States once the new album comes out?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as you said, this tour is not really, it's not part of that cycle.
Correct.
It's just weird timed.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to tour for this album originally now, but it got postponed. And at the same time, we never toured for City Burials. So it shifted back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just weird timing right now because the album is just coming out and we're touring for the old one that we never toured for. It's weird,
So this is why you pushed the release date of the album?
Yeah, we had to push it a little bit. We're going on a European tour right when we're back now. And that starts the new cycle with the new album.
Okay.
Yeah.
So usually I take that you play only on a song right now from the upcoming album. Are you planning to make changes and add as the tour progresses?
We might.
That's a yes.
Well, we try. We play one song right now, and if there's another single out, who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
How would you compare the upcoming album with City Burials? Sound-wise?
Me personally, I think it's very close. It probably has a lot to do also that it's the same guy who mixed it and everything, because he has his signature sound of mixing. Mm-hmm. So the productions are very similar. And also, since Jonas wrote, basically everything, it's his style. It's his. He has his trademark on certain notes. Vocal phrasings, signatures with the beats, drums, guitars, everything like that. So that's why they are so. I almost see them as not twins, but siblings or something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, they're very connected.
So I'm sure you get asked this question about next year being the anniversary of the Katatonia debut album, and then.
I didn't even realize.
Oh. So the question is, do you like the idea of playing entire albums just to celebrate an anniversary?
I do. We've done it a lot. We've done Last Verdeal Gone Down, Viva Emptiness, The Great Cold Distance, Night is the New Day. All of those we've done from start to finish.
Okay.
On their own tours. Small tours or selected gigs. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to do it this year for Dead and Kings as well. Okay. Obviously, it wasn't possible with the pandemic, putting an obstacle to all our plans. And if the question is if we will do it with Dance of December Souls, I'm afraid it won't be possible.
Yeah, because next year's new album.
Well, it's not just the timing, but Jonas is really not into performing that anymore.
So that was my follow-up, because, people grow up, right? So the things that we did some decades ago, or the things that we believed or we felt, does not really, we cannot, it does not reflect how we are. So how does it feel for a band that's an entity revisiting something like it's 30, 20 years old? Again,
me personally, I love it because I miss it. Kind of. I'm not interested in bringing it back into 2022 or 23. That's not what I want to do. But I want to revisit those times and sometimes throw in one of those songs in the live sets just for a surprise.
Yeah.
Because it makes me connected with our past. And also I know that there's demand out there with the fans that were like, oh wow, I didn't expect you to do that. And it would be a nice surprise to do that. So I have to work on Jonas to do this. I have to really work on him hard. We all have to, actually.
Yeah.
You can tell him, people are asking, man.
Yeah, exactly. He need to feel the pressure. So who knows? But there will not be a full, album anniversary of that album.
Okay, that's fair. Last question. You mentioned Bloodbath.
Yeah.
So how should we consider Bloodbath? Is it an active band or was a project that came during almost flares during the pandemic because there were no tours?
I used to say we are active, but it's not a band. It's an active project.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Very serious about it, but it's not a priority. Katatonia always takes the priority, and it's the same thing with the other guys. I mean, they have Opeth, Paradise Lost, stuff like that. That always takes the first priority. But sometimes we do find these little gaps. And then we do Bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
So I always saw it as like a chance to get out of the whole, because everything with Katatonia is very serious. It's a lot of demands there, a lot of expectations. With Bloodbath, you just do what you do. It's just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah, I know.
You do it in a serious way, but it's more relaxed. It's more light.
So you said Opeth, Paradise Lost, Bloodbath, Katatonia. That's a festival, right? That's easy to do.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for your time.
Right.
Have safe travels. If there is anything that you would like to say and I forgot to ask.
No, we're just stoked to be back touring, so I hope people will come out. If they hear this, come out and enjoy the show, hang with us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great.